Hello, ladies and gents, as I get here. This is another PTR update for Conqueror's Blade, published by Porus Interactive, and it is about the Vanguard Archers. As we all know, every single mastery that hit the live server was buffed. Well, sorry, every single unit that was recently changed with the last update was buffed dramatically, and it was much stronger than what we experienced on the PTR. That being said, the one that was very much unexpected was how hard the Vanguard Archers really, how strong the Vanguard Archers really became. And as we have seen, they have been causing havoc and a lot of discussion. I'm just going to put it out there. I love the Vanguard Archers, and that should not detract from the point I need to make. So, first of all, on the live server, they are outputting roughly the same amount of damage output as an Imperial Arquebusier in Volley Fire. This is pre-mastery though, so it's not post-mastery. Post-mastery would push them a little bit higher, but that's only around about 8-ish%. They, well, also only against targets of about 600. There will be discrepancy when targets start climbing in armor. So units with high amounts of armor will drastically drop the Vanguard Archer's effectiveness. But that being said, I'm going to read to you what is stated to be in the PTR. So changes. So all the changes are in blue. So the unit move and fire while it's on. Um, when ordering the unit into formation, the unit can shoot while moving, but the movement shooting damage is reduced by 18%. This was removed because we said it was redundant, or sorry, it was unnecessary because of how fire and move worked previously. And as we all know, fire and move cause a dramatic drop in fire rate because of kind of little stuttering with shooting and moving. So you got lots of gaps between um, kind of trying to push out damage. That is not to say that that is to also say that the changes that hit the live that allowed them to literally shoot while moving um, isn't amazing. I think they kind of went overboard, quite unnecessary to um, give them that much freedom of movement. I really do think that the stutter stepping been should have been a key difference for Vanguard archers versus any of the ranged cavalry who can move and shoot with impunity. Now, the other changes has to do with the mastery, and again, Vanguard archers by themselves are not particularly overperforming just yet. It's mostly the mastery that gets them over the board. Node 5 previously was increased fire rate during move and fire by 30%, has now been changed to Howl of Bowstring in move and fire, hitting enemy infantry units when moving will trigger the panic arrow effect with 20% chance to make enemy fear for 0.5 seconds. Now, this is basically the additional effect for node 8, just split off as its own node. We were also blindsided by this effect because it hit the live and we weren't sure how strong this would be. This actual effect is really strong against number of low number of targets where they can concentrate fire onto them. Cavalry in particular are notoriously vulnerable to this effect, which is absolutely amazing. Infantry, not so much because of the number of targets they have to lock up. The efficiency of the CC is actually much less, but regardless, this effect is actually really strong in the long run, but doesn't have direct impact like other big abilities. But that also being said, it's a continuous effect. So kind of like how the Stylio Slingers are, these guys pretty much do the same thing, where their actual impact is over time and lacks the upfront uh, upfront impact that comes with big abilities and stuff. So this should be pretty terrifying for units that have a low number of models. If you're facing up against the Vanguard archers, they could lock up a good chunk of your units. Many times, I think cavalry trying to chase after Vanguard archers, the front 5 or 6 models will get locked up, having you really struggle to push the unit into them. But that shouldn't be that's not really much of a thing. Now, I mean, yeah, that shouldn't really be much of a problem since it's actually still very easy to get on top of Vanguard archers. Cavalry is, again, still much faster in the long run. Node 6 used to be increase the movement speed during movement fire by 15%. It has been changed to now say the movement shooting damage under movement fire will not be reduced. Good. It removes the penalty that they add. It just becomes a redundant node. I think this is a good change, mostly because you kind of need to waste a node. If you kind of try to add extra things, like you're just going to run out. You're just going to run into the issue where it's just like you need to take away something, and you need to take away something, but you don't know what to take away. Now, the final node, again, is just reads the same. Arrow rain in move and fire, there is 40% chance to shoot 2 arrows when moving. Fine. It's just splitting off the Howl of Bowstring section from Rain of Arrows. So, overall, the only things that you need to know is they reduce. So, if you have Vanguard Archers mastered, they remove the 30% fire rate during move and fire, and they remove the 15% extra movement speed. So overall, this should push them back down to reasonable levels. Their speed is not going to be reduced by so much that it's going to be impactful, but they're still going to be fairly fast, which is the good thing. Running probably, I think they're currently running at like 9 speed. I think you can push it to about 10. They will be running probably around about 8. If you can push it probably to 9. Um, it's good that they did very little, but it's still big. The fire rate increase by 30% is probably one of the larger increases of damage output for ranged units. As we can see with the longer archers getting increased by 30%, the impact is quite big. It is a direct 30% increase in damage. Now, this will still push them above prefecture archers, um, which are currently slated as the best archer for direct damage. But again, we're not accounting for extra effects and stuff, so it's a bit hard when we're getting into extra effects now. I mean, like, Rattan Marksmen are the best tier 3 archer because of the poison, and is still the best tier 3 range because of the poison. Forget about me saying archer back there. I am wondering exactly how far they will push it for prefecture archers, because it is a wonder how strong ranged units should be in the current meta. To me, Against tier 4s and higher tier units, Vanguard archers are not particularly strong. And this has to do with scaling armor to a unit that is still affected by armor. They're not dealing crazy amounts of damage. They're not dealing flat damage. Well, except against polearm units. So polearm units are really screwed in this scenario. But um, I just think it's kind of overblown how people have reacted to the Vanguard archers. It is annoying to deal with. They're not particularly OP for me. And I want to make this clear that how strong units have gotten, range in particular, has to make use of distance and time. Because if distance versus time doesn't uh, work in their favor, they're screwed. Because every single like meta unit is dealing more damage than a ranged unit could ever possibly hope to produce in a few seconds. But again, you got that distance thing. Vanguard archers are unique in the fact that they can maintain distance, so infantry will never touch them. That is a fact. Like, infantry will never touch them. But infantry also has the best hope of sustaining against them. Shield infantry, that is. Um, it's it's difficult, I would say, to kind of accept that the developers know what they're doing with the Vanguard archers, even though that they're ripping off what is essentially a 30% damage increase. So now their damage is probably going to be um, reduced by a quarter, which was much less than what I expected. But this is good. This is good. So tell me, what do you guys think? Do you think the Vanguard archers were too much against in the current meta? I do think that I might, because of my I loved Vanguard archers and I loved how they played. I am quite biased uh, when it comes biased to how to balance them. I do think that the higher armor values puts them competitive against in the higher tiers, while also making them dramatically overperform in the tier 3. But it's the kind of weird thing where it's just like meta is so out there that Vanguard archers being at this level is kind of normal. It's not crazy. It's not crazy amounts. It's kind of feels right, but at the same time wrong because I know where they should sit against everyone else, but I don't understand my feelings about the current things, but it is it is just really strange that a unit that is producing essentially what is crazy amounts of damage and not being OP in my sense, except for like when you actually consider the actual tier they're from. Tier 3, the tier 3, I think even in the PTR state is going to go crazy. They're going to outcompete prefecture archers directly, but there's plenty of other tier 3 ranged units that are basically on similar levels. Just Vanguard archers are now going to be one step higher. I think I think the changes in this case will push them to about 15% stronger than Prefecture Arrow Rain, if not around about 20%. Well, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and tell me what you think about the changes for the Vanguard Archers. Did you think they were too strong? Did you think they were um, nice? Do you think they were too strong? Do you think they were at do you think they were balanced, or do you think they were underpowered? Because honestly, people have a wide range of reaction to the Vanguard archers. I think that a lot of the vocal ones hate Vanguard archers because they're archers, but they also hate getting shot by them. Um, while at the same time, we're getting people that getting really good performance, and then other people getting really bad performance. So there are dynamics to balance, and this is the one where there are counters to the Vanguard archers, which are quite stable in the meta. So it's not like their existence is not there. I mean, longbowmen's is apparently like picked up. I think I've seen more longbow heroes than ever before. Cavalry is good. Unfortunately, for some reason, cavalry just refuses to chase after Vanguard archers or just archers in general. Normally, they're like the first thing anyone dives. But maybe it's also because of cost effectiveness. No one wants to sacrifice a higher tier unit just to kill Vanguard archers when there's other stronger units on the field. But again, tactical decision is up to the player. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And other than that, bye for now.